Good morning, good morning, good morning. I pray all is well with you and your families. I pray you thank the Lord for waking you up on this morning, because someone did not, someone will not. I tell you all the truth. Whew, we serve an awesome God. It's like so amazing. Now I truly understand what the scripture means by pray for your enemies. Yesterday I was talking to my daughter about, her life, and the choices that she's making, and I let her know that I was proud of her. I've noticed that every time I talk to her, it's like I'm talking to my younger self. The wisdom and the life that was not poured into me at that age, I'm pouring into her, and it's it's amazing. It's a beautiful thing. And the fact that I told her that I'm proud of her, and I trust her, and I believe in her, she was like, "Thank you, Mama. It's good to know somebody do." And I literally felt the weight lifted off of her. And I had to tell her, I said, I got to be completely honest with you. I never worry about you or your younger brother. I said, I know how I raised you all. We are different. Yes, we all lived in Knoxville, Tennessee. We lived on the east side, which they called it the gun zone. I said, but we are different from other people. We're not like them. And I didn't say that we were better than them. I said, we are not like them. We are different. I said, and the world not ready for us. The world wasn't ready for Sydney. They weren't ready for my son. And then I also told her, I said, I can't wait to see the woman that you mature and become, because you're going to be a force to be reckoned with like your mama. I said, girl, and then you've got a daughter. Oh, God. There's going to be a force to be reckoned with. 3 Rosinas, Jesus, but different names. And what I know now, and I did not know then at her age, I'm teaching her and I'm letting her know. Oh, God. It's such a beautiful thing. And when the Lord has shown you pieces of what's going to be in your children's future, and you know for a fact that it's not death. See, because what you all fail to realize is when Sydney was 6 years old, this is not a lie. The Lord showed me that boy was going to die due to gun violence. He showed me this. What I didn't know at that time is that here's the truth. I thought I could protect them. What did I do? I moved out of the projects, thinking that would protect them. And as long as he was under my roof, I was able to protect him. But once he became a grown man, the girl that he was dating lived in the projects. You understand where you flowing with me on this one? So what I could do in my power is what I did. But the Lord showed me when that child was 6 years old how that child was going to die. I can't even lie to you all. I can't even make this up. And one day, I went to the Weigels where my son died at. He was shot at the Vista Apartments, which was across the street. He was shot by someone that was sitting in the back seat of his car. So he was shot from his back and he was able to get out and run. And so he died at the gas pump. But at that gas station, one morning I went in there just to get some coffee. And I met a woman and we were having a conversation, and she told me that the Lord had showed her that her daughter was going to die at Vanderbilt Hospital. She said, and her daughter had died years ago. She said, but the Lord had showed her that when her daughter was younger. I said, people think that we're lying when we say that God, gives signs and show us that, what happened with our children. Like, he'll show you the good, he'll show you the bad, he'll show you. And so, even when Sydney was killed, during the time right after he died, I kept feeling something was wrong with my daughter, but I couldn't pinpoint it because I was grieving the loss of my son. And so 2 months to the day after that, I felt it, you all. I was like, I'm getting ready to run to the store. You want to go with me? And she was like, no. And normally she would go everywhere with me. This is not a lie. And so when I got back home, I went into my room, and as I was sitting in my room, she jumped up and she was like, Mama, and she was staggering. And I was like, what's going on with you, girl? I told you, when you sleep, you just stay in your bed. And then she was like, yeah, Mama, can I go? And then she went to the bathroom, fell over in the bathroom, throwing up. And I'm like, what is going on with you? What happened? And by the grace of God, she threw up everything, but she told me she had taken my Ambien, the sleeping pills that I had been taking for insomnia that were prescribed to me. And the only reason she knew where they were at is because when I couldn't sleep or when my body was very weak, I would ask her to hand me my medicine. So she knew where my medicine was at, because there were times that my back would be hurting so bad that I couldn't get out of bed. There were times that my body would lock up and I couldn't move. So she was the person who knew where my medication was at. It's the whole truth, right? Because there were times I could not move and I had to depend on her to help me, to get my medicine for me. God. But God. See, the devil tried to take my daughter out, but God had other plans. See, here's the thing about it. That spirit of suicide that goes through my family. See, I didn't know nothing about it until I had my suicide attempt. And mind you, like I told you, it was 3 times. But by the grace of God, I'm still here because it's meant for me to be here. But the first time I literally died. I died. No breath in my lungs. No heartbeat. But God. He didn't bring me back from the dead to play with the devil or his agents or anybody in the kingdom of darkness. He didn't keep my daughter for us to play with the devil. See, I can see what the Lord is doing with her, through her. And I'm going to tell you something. If anybody ever try to come up against her or my younger son, the God that I serve is going to make it. See, here's what I found out on yesterday. See, I had to tell my daughter, man, I'm going through a moment right now where I'm getting kind of angry again. And I'm like, God, these people took my son. They plotted against my son. I need your help, because I broke down into tears. And I told her, I said, I'm not holier than thou. And I told her exactly how I was feeling, because I'm her mama and I'm not holier than thou. And I'm a grown woman. And if a cuss word come out of my mouth, so be it. As long as I go to the Lord and be like, please forgive me. But you already know what's going on in my heart anyway. So I don't have to pretend with God. I ain't got to pretend with anybody. You feel me? Understand that part. Now, do I go around just cussing? No, I don't. But at the end of the day, when it comes to my son, I ain't got nothing nice to say about those people. So it is what it is. And if you don't like it, so be it. Unfollow me. Because see, until you bury a child, you won't understand it anyway. So at the end of the day, your judgment, your opinions do not matter. Trust me, I didn't think I would bury a child, even though the Lord showed me when he was 6 years old. I thought that I could prevent my son from being killed by gang members. I thought I could prevent it. And the Lord showed me this when that child was 6 years old. And he was killed at the age of 19. 6 months after moving out of my house, that child was killed. And the Lord showed me when he was 6 years old. And it happened 6 months after he moved out of my house. What I thank God for is I didn't understand. I was suffering from severe depression and anxiety. So I could not work. I'm talking about it was social anxiety. I couldn't be around large crowds. I mean, it was terrible. But when I'm looking back on it, I'm thanking God for that time that I had at home with my children, schooling them, teaching them, showing them that I love them. Because I never really thought I would bury one of them. But God knew I needed that time with my child. He knew that I didn't believe that he was going to die. He knew that I thought that I could prevent him from dying. God knew my thoughts. He know my every thought. That's why I don't hide anything from him. So I was talking to my daughter, and I was like, man, sometimes I be mad because I feel like people aren't suffering the way that we have suffered, and I be wanting to go hurt some folks. I said, man, this fighter in me, I have to go to God about this thing, because I said I fight with my flesh all the time. I was talking to her, telling her, like, I fight with my flesh. Like, I'm not holier than thou. I fight with my flesh daily, especially when it comes to the murder of my son. Murder. Not illness. Not a car accident. Not a miscarriage. But a plotted and planned murder. I don't think you all are hearing me. When they plot against your child, like from jealousy, envy, control, that's a whole nother level of forgiveness, and then a lifetime of God, keep me still, keep me calm, keep me strong, keep my heart right, keep my mind right, keep me free. Y'all don't know nothing about that. And truth be told, I don't even wish this on my worst enemy, who I know got 2 sons. But this is a message for you. If God has shown you that any of your children are gonna die, you better believe that. You just don't know when, but he shows you. You can't stop it. You can't even reverse it. I believe what I did was prolong it. I prolonged his life. That's what I did by protecting him. But I couldn't stop it. But I prolonged it. I believe that with all my heart, body, and soul. That's also like my mother's life. Couldn't prevent her death, but I was able to prolong it. The Lord gave me healing hands to prolong her life. But it didn't stop the death. I'm learning now that sometimes the miracle is literally just prolonging a life. Sometimes it's not the miracle of a reverse effect of an illness going away or a person not dying. Sometimes it's literally, the miracle is literally, help me God. The miracle is literally just prolonging that life for you to be able to spend more time with that person. And letting them know that you love them and showing them that you love them. But it's not preventing the death, but it's prolonging their life. And we have to thank God for the life. This is why you have to give people their roses while they are living. You all need to listen to me on today. Hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying to you all. Many of you complained about being stuck in the house during the pandemic, but the Lord knows the reason that he needed everyone to be still and spend more time with their families and their loved ones, because some of you lost loved ones during that time. We lost 3 family members and none of them died due to COVID. 3 men and none of them died due to COVID. Not one of them died due to COVID. We lost 3 family members in 2021 and none of them died due to COVID. People are dying for other reasons than COVID. Drug overdose was one. Heart attack was one. Alzheimer's was one. None of them had anything to do with COVID. God. Y'all don't want to admit that you have drug addicts in your family. And there are bad drugs going around that are killing your family members. You don't want to eat right, but then you wind up getting clogged arteries, and then having heart attacks and strokes. It's just amazing. You don't want to do what you got to do, but you want God to do everything. You all want healing and miracles, but you don't want to do what even the doctor tell you to do to make sure that you can prolong your own life, but you want God just to do a miracle. What about you doing your part? You know, it's just amazing to me how everybody want a miracle from God, but don't nobody want to stop doing what they're doing, which caused them to be the way that they are. For instance, you want healing from God for a sexually transmitted disease, but yet you constantly going around sleeping with everybody. Help the Lord understand. What would it do you any good to heal you from HIV, syphilis, or whatever it is that you have that's deadly, for you to keep going around sleeping around with people? Sin no more. I gotta see. And maybe he'll heal you. See, you all are asking for prayers and miracles, but yet you don't want to stop drinking. And you know, drinking is what caused you to want to go out and have sex. You don't want to stop smoking your marijuana, but you know, that's what gets you horny. You don't want to stop popping your Xanax or your Roxys or your Oxycodone or your morphine. Or your ecstasy. You don't want to stop popping them pills, but yet you want God to heal your body when you self-medicating. You don't want to stop drinking your Patron or your Hennessy or whatever drink, your vodka, your gin, which makes you sin. You don't want to stop drinking that, your tequila. You don't want to stop drinking that, but you want God to sit up there and heal your liver, knowing alcohol is the reason that you have cirrhosis of the liver. I mean, help me and help the Lord understand what type of miracle you really expect him to give you when you don't want to stop doing what's making you sick. You men want to be healed from HIV, but yet you're still sleeping with men. So help the Lord understand. When do you want to be delivered and set free and stop sleeping with men? Okay, so then you've got you women. You were raped or molested by a man. You're dealing with childhood drama as an adult. You want the Lord to heal your heart, but yet you're still angry at every single man that even comes up in your face, but yet you don't want to go get the counseling. How is the Lord supposed to heal your heart? For you men who have gone through the same thing, and some of you were raped and molested by other men, which caused you to be gay, but you do not want to go to counseling to get the help you need and the coping skills that you need. So see, you know, God sets doctors up and sets up counselors because he knows that people have to literally study the brain, study behaviors, study patterns. And then when you go to them and you talk to them, they listen. They attentively listen to you. They don't go around talking about you. And majority of the time, counselors have to go see a counselor for the simple fact that they take on so much stuff from other people that they have to go release to someone else to free their mind, to keep them stable in order to constantly, you know, take clients and listen to clients. Because, you know, some of these counselors have to deal with young girls who were sexually abused. I'm talking about 5 and younger and 5 and up. And this is just the truth. And young boys too. And do you really think that counselors like to hear about a young child being raped or molested by an adult? I think not. Or by another child, because that child was sexually abused, so they thought that it was okay. Because like when you're young, you don't know any better. If a family member touch you, you think it's okay to touch another family member because you don't know any better, because no one stopped that family member from touching you. No one did anything about it, even though you went to that family member. And then you all wonder why incest go on within many families. Many of you are victims of incest. Yeah, we going deep on this morning because this is just, we trying to get some people set free and delivered. And these are things you can't go to your pastor about. You can't go to your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your spouse or your siblings. You got to go to a counselor, and you got to go to God, and you got to talk about these things so you can be set free and delivered, because it wasn't even your fault. It was not your fault. You don't need to have shame, so don't go to no church telling the church about what you went through. Go to a counselor who will keep it confidential and help you talk about it and release it and set you free in the mighty name of Jesus. Because, see, I'm looking back over my life, and although I never wanted to go see a counselor, all I literally did was constantly, take the medicine that the doctor was giving me. But once I started going to counseling for my anger management, which came from childhood trauma, and I was able to talk about everything that I had been through, and I was able to be set free. I tell you the truth. And then when I went to, the pastor, the church that I was going to, and I went to a counseling session, and I finally just admitted how I felt about my mother. I had always kept that to myself, and I finally admitted how I truly felt about my mom not protecting me. And I released it and felt that weight lifted off my shoulders. Although I still never blamed her for what went on in my life, but I blamed her for not protecting me. Because it's the truth. And she apologized before she died, because she even realized she didn't protect me the way that she should have. Be that as it may, once I admitted that, I truly started healing. Because, see, although I was going to a regular counselor before that for anger management, I never admitted that I felt like my mother did not protect me. That was the one thing I never said out loud. But when I went in front of a pastor and I was talking to him in a counseling session, well, I couldn't lie to the man of God. And that was the last thing that I had never said, because my siblings always blame my mama for their bad decisions as adults. And that pissed me off, and it pisses me off until today, because you're an adult. It's time for you to make better decisions, and our mama dead and gone. But at the end of the day, be that as it may, I had to finally admit I felt like my mama never protected me. And that was the moment I was truly released and set free, and I had no idea. So, from childhood trauma, right? So then I had to go through the process of being set free and forgive the people who were responsible for my son Sydney's murder. I tell you, man, it's baby steps, y'all. Like, there is a process that you have to go through. Like, you got to be healed from childhood trauma before you can be healed from anything else. It's just amazing. Now that I know that it's a beautiful thing, I know that it's baby steps. Like, what is the root of your pain? The root of my pain, which was the root of my anger, actually. It wasn't pain, it was anger, was childhood trauma. That was the root, right? So then my pain was burying a child. So then I had to go through the process of forgiving the people responsible for my son's murder. I mean, I tell you the truth, and even with the childhood trauma, I had to sit up there and I had to go through the process of forgiving the older men who manipulated me, took advantage of me as a young girl. The older men. I had to forgive them. I had to forgive the group of guys who gang raped me. I mean, this is just so real right now, you all, because I was a young girl, but I was developed, so I was able to lie about my age. And my mama was strung out on drugs and alcohol, and look, survival of the fittest was the mindset. That was what I had watched the other females in my family do. For my food, my clothing, my money, whatever it was, it is what it is, right? I ain't ashamed of it, because there's many of you that are doing that even right now on today, and you're grown women and you're over 40 and you're still living like that, when it's really time to get your life together, because Jesus, it's time to get your life together. Your daughters and your sons don't need to see you living that way. There comes a time in your life where you have to be a good example. You have to lead by example. Because when you're constantly telling your kids to do the right thing, but you're living any kind of way, doing whatever you want to do, your kids looking at you like, You telling me to do the right thing, but yet you're doing this. You're telling me not to sleep around, but yet you sitting up here having a different guy or a different woman in the house every night. You know, depending on if you're a single dad, you got a different woman every night, or you're a single mom, you got a different man every night, or every other night, or, you know, every month, or however it may be. You know, our children see everything that we're doing. So, like, we're telling them not to do something, but yet we're doing it. You know, like, we look like a bunch of fools, truth be told. Like, it's time to lead by example. You know, live this thing for real. Walk this thing out. Let them see. It's just amazing. You know, people don't want to hear about sex, but yet everybody going around having sex. All these babies are being born. How are the babies being born? Because people are having sex. People haven't been taught about sex education because the Bible, I mean, kind of what the church want to make it like it's taboo. But yet, Songs of Solomon, sex, yes, married couple, sex, but sex is in the Bible. I mean, you got all these fornicators in the Bible. You got all these gays in the Bible. You got all these adulterers in the Bible. I'm up there, it's in Solomon and Gomorrah. I mean, it's just amazing that the church don't want to talk about sex, but then you get all these teenagers that come in big and pregnant and unmarried, unwed mothers inside the church. Why? Because the church don't want to talk about sex, but yet half of you pastors going around think it is some of them church members pregnant by you. You know, it's just amazing how many hypocrites preach from the pulpit. Pastor, overseer, bishop, I gotta say the teacher, apostle, prophet, evangelist, a bunch of hypocrites. Many of you have sat up there and had your church members have abortions because you got them pregnant. So, you know, y'all think people don't know nothing, but the Lord shows us things. It's just amazing. Y'all think people are dumb and don't know, but the Lord shows his prophets. You don't want to talk about sex because you the one going around taking advantage of the men and the women in the church having sex with them. So if we talk about sex, we're talking about you. Hey, Thickity, y'all funny. It's just amazing, the hypocrites inside the body of Christ preaching from the pulpit every Sunday at every conference. Hey, Thickity. At every event. On Wednesdays, whatever day of the week you have your little Bible study. Yeah, hypocrites. Y'all sleeping with church members. But yet y'all don't want to talk about sex when some of them church members done had your baby. Or, yeah, they had your baby. When they got pregnant, you sent them away from the church to try to hide your sin. You know, like David did in the Bible with Bathsheba. And that's why that baby died. You know, see, here's the thing. We be thinking we get away with things. And then the Lord will send a prophet to warn you that, you know, your child is going to die. But you don't want to believe it, right? Yeah. Because, see, the truth is, 2 months before Sydney died, the Lord sent someone to me and told me he was going to die. Like, this is the time he's really about to die. And I didn't believe it. Now, the Lord showed me when he was 6. But then 2 months before he was killed, someone came into my home and warned me and told me, and I did not believe it. So I'm living proof of someone will come warn you. And the fact that the Lord showed me when he was younger, I don't really understand why I did not believe that individual. But it was because I knew she was upset about different things. But yet at the end of the day, the words that she would speak always came to pass. So I knew that she knew what she was talking about. But I just did not want to believe it because it was my son. Even though God showed me when he was 6. Yeah, all these things. It's just the whole truth. It's real. It's real life, right? But anyway, for those of you who are hypocrites and you're sleeping with the church members, stop it. Stop it. For those of you who are married and you having extramarital affairs, stop it or just get a divorce. Because understand, God is not pleased with sin, period. It don't matter who you are. It don't matter what your title is. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to hear the Lord say, well done, my good and faithful servant. He doesn't say, well done, my good and faithful bishop, pastor, apostle, overseer, preacher, teacher, evangelist, apostle, prophet. He says servant, servant. Serving. It's amazing how you all want people to serve you, but you don't want to serve anybody. It's amazing how you want people to give to you, but you don't want to give anybody anything. You know what? Enjoy your day.